the forest of golden light. In a quiet village at the edge of a great green forest, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Lila. She had big, curious eyes, wild curly hair, and a gentle smile that made everyone feel safe. Lila loved to wander the woods nearby with her little lantern, always wondering what secrets the trees might hold. One evening, just before bedtime, Lila stood by her window and noticed tiny golden lights flickering among the trees. They weren't fireflies. These lights sparkled like stars and seemed to move in a pattern, almost like they were calling her name. She tiptoed outside, lantern in hand, and followed the golden lights past the garden gate. The deeper she walked into the woods, the brighter her lantern glowed, as if it recognized the magic too. The air was cool and carried the smell of pine and dew. As she walked, the lights led her down unfamiliar paths, where the trees shimmered as if dusted with glitter. She saw mushrooms that pulsed softly with light and leaves that seemed to hum gentle lullabies. Every step filled her with awe. She paused by a log covered in moss, where a small glowing beetle sat blinking slowly. She watched it lift into the air and float ahead, joining the golden lights. Suddenly, the lights gathered into a circle, revealing a hidden clearing. In the center stood an enormous toadstool, red and speckled with white dots. Sitting atop it was a tiny fox with silver fur, its eyes full of wisdom and kindness. "Welcome, Lila," said the fox in a soft, melodic voice. "Few can see the lights, fewer still are brave enough to follow, but your heart is kind, and tonight you'll see the forest of golden light." Lila gasped softly, not out of fear, but wonder. "Are you magic?" she asked. The fox chuckled gently. "Magic lives in everything, if you know how to look." The fox leapt down and led Lila through a narrow path veiled by hanging vines. Flowers along the way chimed like little bells when touched, and butterflies with glowing wings danced in the air. A warm breeze wrapped around her like a hug. They passed by a willow tree where glowing birds sang soft melodies that made Lila's eyes widen with joy. The forest felt alive, as if welcoming her. They stopped at a pond with crystal clear water, perfectly still. As Lila peered into the water, she saw herself, but not as she was. Her reflection shimmered, golden and glowing, like the stars she'd followed. She looked stronger, surer. "Is that really me?" she whispered. "Yes," said the fox. "It's the light you carry inside. You've always had it. Most forget. But you remembered." Lila sat beside the pond and thought of times she had been scared, like her first day at school, or when thunder shook her windows. She smiled. Those moments felt smaller now. The fox curled up next to her. "Whenever you feel afraid again, close your eyes, breathe, and remember this light. It shines brightest when you need it most." Lila looked up at the stars. "Will I ever come back here?" she asked. "Whenever you remember the light," said the fox. "This forest will be with you." Lila hugged the fox tightly. "Thank you," she whispered. "I'll never forget." The golden lights returned, spinning gently around them like stars dancing to a lullaby. When she opened her eyes, Lila stood once again at the edge of the forest. The sky was turning soft shades of morning. Her lantern still glowed, but now it shimmered with golden warmth from within. She turned and looked back at the woods. They were quiet, but she felt them smiling. From that night on, Lila never feared the dark again. She knew the light wasn't just in her lantern. It was inside her forever and always.